We live in one of the most digitally connected times in history. And yet, a recent study shows that humans have become some of the most lonely humans that have ever existed. Hi, my name is Jason Ellinger. I'm the CEO of Taika Translations. We're a multi-million-dollar translation, digital services, and interpretation company. And I just want to talk a minute about this part of the reality of current day business. Because when you have a business like ours, for example, many vendors, they work virtually, and so many of them work from individual offices located anywhere in the world. So in the translation and interpretation industry, you've got translators located all over the United States, interpreters located all over the United States, but then all of the rest of the world, they have interpreters and translators too, and those people are working from their offices, and many of them are freelancers, and many of them are just contractors working for different companies. And that can get really lonely unless you do some really key things to make sure that loneliness isn't characteristic to your life long term. And how do we do that? I listened to Dr. John Deloney speak about this, and he said, look, psychology had this huge study when I was in a university. He was a university professor, and he said, I participated in this big case study, and we're talking about how to make the human whole and connected, and the feelings of security and peace. And as I participated in this case study with brilliant minds all over the United States, from some of the highest education academics in the world, came together to make this study. And he said, after we were done, I came to the concluding event where they were just discussing all the research and saying, here's the outcomes, and here's what we need to do, how we can help people work into the future. And he said, I was sitting in that room listening to this, all the data outputs, and he was like, I was so shocked because it feels like I heard this before. I was sitting in the room and I felt like I've heard this 1,000 times. Like, where did I hear this? And he's like, I haven't heard it recently. And he said, you know what? I heard it from my grandmother. Like, this is the stuff my grandmother said. Work hard. Find employment that you love and do hard work. Don't disdain it. Enjoy it. Make it a part of your life. But while you're working hard, make sure you rest well. When you go home, talk to the people you love, play with your children, make sure you have a conversation with your spouse, and take a walk. Don't get out of routine with your life. Make sure you have time to do the important things like exercise and make sure you're eating well. And he's like, my grandmother told me all of this stuff. And yet, it is foundational to creating a life that's wealthy, that's whole, and giving us the undergirding for our relationships to weather the storms of life. Because storms are going to come. Life's going to be hard. It's just a fact of life. You got to accept it. Accept it and move on with it. It's not going to be fair, and it's going to be hard. Those are two guarantees in life. So how do we weather that? We weather that with great relationships, with disciplined routine in our lives, with connecting with real people on a routine basis that speak into our life, that we can be vulnerable with, that we can get, like, here's the superficial conversations, but we can actually get here to where about conversations that matter. You know what? I'm scared about this, and I deal with this. Like, this is something that I deeply struggle with. I don't want to say not carelessly and foolishly sharing information with people you can't trust, who are just going to blab your information all over your social network or internets or whatever. But I mean, like, people that you really have in your life that you can genuinely and wholly trust to share, and that their feedback will be valuable and foundational for the future. And I think that's so important in this day and age to make sure that you and I are spending time on a routine basis, talking, interfacing with, and that we have planned time to spend with loved ones where we're not interrupted, where we get to have a long conversation, and that conversation leads to another conversation, which leads to another conversation, and we spend 4 hours discussing meaningful things on both parts, for them and for you, not just a one-way conversation, and thereby building the relationships that cause us to have the strength to weather the storms of life. And I don't know about you, but as I've been in business for 10 plus years now, running this company, there's been ups and downs all along the way. And those relationships that were already there prior to those events, those negative events happening, they carried me through. And the hope that the understanding that I wasn't alone, and the realization that I had somebody that I could talk to when I was going through something tough. And then but that doesn't happen just automatically. Like it's not something that just comes out of thin air. You've got to that's something you cultivate. You cultivate that over years of you have to have these conversations with people now and be building those relationships now, so that when you get to those storms of life that do come, you can weather them. Because we've got a whole culture that is anxious, that is fearful, that looks into the future and doesn't see a hopeful outcome. But hope is a choice. And you can't make that choice unless you've got incredible people around you speaking into your life, speaking hope and life into your world, into your mind, into your heart, and helping you work through the challenges that you're facing. Maybe they're not directly involved in the challenges you're facing, but they do provide that emotional, that relational support that causes you to be able to dig deep when the going gets tough, draw out your solutions through the pain of life, through the heartbreak, and make the next right decision. And so that's what I want to share with people on the internet today. That's what I want to share with you today, other business leaders, or maybe just maybe a stay-at-home mom who's working through stuff, and you've got 4 kids and they're bouncing on the couches and making messes all over the place. Make sure those kids are put in bed, and that you actually have a long conversation with your husband multiple times per week, or the husband who's staying at home and he has the kids, and make sure you get those kids put to bed. And I know what I'm talking about, because I have 8 children, guys. I know this is hard. This is a real challenge. Those children go to bed, and then we can talk, and it's uninterrupted. Okay, it's not always uninterrupted, because I know I have kids. They get up, and somebody needs to drink water, somebody needs to go to the bathroom, somebody needs a diaper changed. I get it. But that uninterrupted time that's constantly scheduled creates the value, creates the foundation to weather anything in life. So whether it's with your spouse, or maybe you get together a couple times a month with a great friend, or maybe you've got a group of men that you can, or a group of women in your community that you connect with, make it a priority. It has to be a priority, and you have to do it consistently, because if you don't, you won't have the strength to weather those storms of life. And so that's something that I want to share. I've been spending some time doing that with my oldest brother. He's an incredibly successful pilot for a major airlines company, and we got the opportunity to spend 2 weeks together, and I'm so grateful for the conversations we've been able to have, the time we've been able to spend together, and just the undergirding of life that relationship does for my life as a whole. And you've got relationships. If you look around, and if you don't got relationships, then you need to look around. And one of the best places to start is by finding a local church in your community. There's people there that probably love each other, that probably would love to receive you into their community and to encourage you, and just to connect with you. Maybe somebody needs your relationship, and I guarantee you they do. So work on that. Make it a real part of your life, and don't forsake the building relationships with others, even though you're working online, or even though you're working in a maybe geographically separated office. Make sure this is a part of your life on a routine basis, and continue investing in others in the same way, because they're going through the same stuff. Life's going to happen. It's going to be a challenge, and you need the relationships, and I need the relationships to be able to weather those storms.